everybody. Dr. Chris Green here with Dr. Tahir Doon, your practice launchpad team today. We want to give you a tour of kind of the outside of my office, just for the heck of it. Maybe there's be a couple nuggets you could take away from this. But anyway, about the signage, we got the huge monument sign. That thing has been great. You see the traffic, you could probably barely hear me, but we have great visibility, a high traffic count. This is a main thoroughfare. And I put out the emergency sign during COVID, but it's actually worked out beautifully. And then you can see the signs between the gables for me and the pediatric dentist, okay? I was part of this whole ground up process. A lot of things to think about if you're gonna do ground up, including all the landscaping, the sprinkler system, where's the electrical box gonna go? The city made us make that a certain color.
One thing that's absolutely critical is traffic count. What I also want you guys to notice is we have a stoplight right here. So as people stop at the stoplight, they're gonna see the signage and the building. 40,000 cars going by, but everyone is just blowing by your practice and they're not registering the signage. It's not gonna stick in their head. So it's always nice to have these stops where they can sit, look around, see who's new to the area, and then catch the signage. So that's a huge point there.
So more signage here. In fact, this signage isn't lit up because it faces the neighborhood. So they wouldn't let us have lighting there. So these are things to remember when you're talking about signage with your city and getting permits. You want to get all these things cleared. Finally, the city was very specific about the 19551, the style and the size of the number so people know your address. Crazy things to consider that you wouldn't even think of when you're dealing with these cities, okay? This is for the sprinkler system. We actually already had a freeze that broke the manifold. So just like you would at home, sprinkler system has to be flushed out. I know it sounds random, but these are little things. The fire riser room here. Again, this only applies to really ground up, but this is an expensive room for anybody that owns ground up projects. The fire costs a lot of money for fire protection. Coming around the front, if we talk about the parking lot, you want to think about, and you've read this in our notes, the amount of spaces that you have for parking. This is our parking lot, so like these 20 spaces or so. And this is something you want to work out in your lease or consider, depending on where you live, how much parking is around. So I have my team park in that parking lot, which actually isn't even ours. So someday the other owners of those units could yell at us and kick us out of there. And then I'm really going to be in trouble looking for parking. So you got to think about these things. Just some more signage on this side. We're fortunate to have signage front and back. And not a lot to add, except we get snow here in Denver, and this parking lot, because it faces north, the building blocks the sun, we get ice and snow that freezes on the front side of the building. Things you would never think of is which way the sun faces for melting the snow. If you're doing ground up, you're gonna need to talk to the Postal Service and figure out when your new location actually gets a mail delivery box. We had to buy our own mailbox and then add the mailbox to the route for the UPS driver. So that was a whole process, another random thing you would never think about for ground up construction. A couple little last details. I mentioned the mailbox. So we had to get it approved that the mailbox driver could drive in and out. And then if you come to the mailbox, this was a big headache when we set this up. You'd buy one of these things online, okay? So this is Dr. Thomas's, this is mine. And then this is where outgoing mail goes, where they could pick up. Well, the mail, the Postal Service actually has to change the lock because we are not allowed access because a neighbor could potentially put mail in there and it has to be protected. So I don't even have the key to this. We only have keys to our mailboxes. As for the garbage location, this is interesting. In order to maximize the spaces for parking, they put the garbage can over here. Well, recently with the company, we had a big fight that they said that their truck driver couldn't get in here when there's other cars in the parking lot. So they only can come at 6:30 in the morning, and then there's a problem. Is the neighborhood mad about the noise? Things like that. So easy in and out for your garbage truck is something you would never think of. So that's about it, folks. Thanks.